All praises, honor, and glory be to the Most High Heavenly Father of Israel, to the Jews and Gentiles. Shalom. Let's touch on persecution. When you see examples of countries like Nigeria, where Christians are facing persecution from groups like Boko Haram and the Islamic State West African province, ISWAP, including massacres and forced conversions, and then you go all the way to Pakistan, you see non-state actors such as the Islamic State Khorasan province, ISK, and government-sanctioned blasphemy laws contribute to the persecution of Christians. And then you go to Syria, you see the Islamic State has committed systematic massacres, forced conversions, and destruction of churches. Then you go to Afghanistan. Following the Taliban's return to power, the risk of persecution for Christians has increased significantly with reports of forced conversions and attacks. Then you go to Iran and Saudi Arabia. These two countries are listed as countries of particular concern by the United States Commission on International Religious Freedoms for their severe violations of religious freedom. And then you go to Egypt. Christians face discrimination and persecution often due to state policies and actions by non-state actors. Now, worthy to note, non-state actors like Boko Haram, Islamic State, Al-Shabaab are the ones who perform much of the persecution, right? So let's take a case in point of Nigeria. Now that we have the IS and Boko Haram slaughtering these Christians by the droves, is it lawful for Christians and Jews to practice self-defense? All right, let's go to the prophets. When you go to the book of Nehemiah chapter 4, we read about Sanballat, who was a Moabite, right? And he was a very strong opponent of Nehemiah and the returned exiles from their goal of rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. So now let's pick it up from verse 7. Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 7. But it came to pass that when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were made up and the breaches began to be stopped, they were very wroth. Verse 8. And conspired all of them together to come and to fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. Verse 9. Nevertheless, we made our prayer unto God and set a watch against them day and night because of them. Verse 10. And Judah said, the strength of the bearers of burdens is decayed, and there is much rubbish, so that we are not able to build the wall. Verse 11. And our adversaries said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst among them, and slay them, and cause the work to cease. Verse 12. And it came to pass, that when the Jews which dwelt by them came, they said unto us 10 times, from all places whence ye shall return unto us, they will be upon you. Verse 13. Therefore set I in the lower places behind the wall, and on the higher places I even set the people after their families with their swords, their spears, and their bows. Verse 14. And I looked and rose up, and said unto the nobles, and to the rulers, and to the rest of the people, be not ye afraid of them, and remember the Lord, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brothers, your sons, your daughters, your wives, and your houses. Verse 15. And it came to pass, when our enemies heard that it was known unto us, and God had brought their counsel to naught, that we returned all of us to the wall, every one unto his work. Verse 16. And it came to pass from that time forth, that the half of my servants wrought in the work, and the other half of them held both the spears, the shields, the bows, the habergeons, and the rulers were behind all the house of Judah. Verse 17. They which builded on the wall, and they that bare burdens, with those that laid it, every one with one of his hands wrought in the work, and with the other hand held a weapon. Verse 18. For the builders, everyone had his sword guarded by his side, and so builded, and he that sounded the trumpet was by me. Verse 19. And I said unto the nobles, and to the rulers, and to the rest of the people, the work is great and large, and we are separated upon the wall, one far from another. Verse 20. In what place therefore ye hear the sound of the trumpet, resort ye thither unto us, our God shall fight for us. Verse 21. So we labored in the work, and half of them held the spears from the rising of the morning till the stars appeared. Verse 22. Likewise at the same time said I to the people, let everyone with his servant lodge within Jerusalem, that in the night there may be a guard to us, and labor on the day. Verse 23. So neither I, nor my brethren, nor my servants, nor the men of the guard which followed me, none of us put off our clothes, saving that every one put them off for washing. You see that right there? So the weapons we had in Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 16, those weapons were a deterrent. We were not playing games with none of these heathen people, right? So none of you Christians should just sit there and say, I'll just pray and just be slaughtered. And because the Lord was with the fathers during Nehemiah's time, guess what? It was a deterrent which was strong enough to keep the enemies at bay. You never saw Nehemiah just telling the people, hey, you know what? Just pray and then just sit there and just wait to die and wait to be slaughtered and angels will come. Remember what Nehemiah said in Nehemiah 4 and 14. Fight for your brothers, your sons, your daughters, your wives, and your houses. Don't just sit there and say, I'm going to pray and then I'm going to wait. Even if the enemy strikes me, it's okay. Now let's go to the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 2. Let's see whether that changed. Self-defense, whether it changed during the Maccabean period. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 2 verse 40. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brothers have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth. Verse 41. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all, as our brothers that were murdered in secret places. Verse 42. Then came there unto him a company of the Assyrians, who were mighty men of Israel, even all as such as were voluntary, devoted unto the law. Verse 43. Also, all they that had fled for persecution joined themselves unto them, and were a stay unto them. Verse 44. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger, and wicked men in their wrath, but the rest fled to the heathen for succor. So there you have it. In 1 Maccabees chapter 1, you see the Jews were slaughtered and they didn't put that self-defense in effect. But in 1 Maccabees chapter 2, just like what we've read, you see the Jews now saying, hey, listen, we will have to defend ourselves. And anyone who comes against us, because these enemies during that time, they came during the Sabbath day because they knew we cannot break that Sabbath day. That's why they chose the Sabbath day. But guess what? Even if it's the Sabbath and you come and attack us, we will have to self-defend ourselves. So please, if the scriptures were written for our learning, to any Christian brother or sister, wherever you are on this earth worldwide, self-defense is a human right. It's a God-given right. You have the right to defend yourself. Okay? And there's so many, there's so many more examples we can find in the scriptures. But for now, I just want to keep it short. All praises be to the Most High Heavenly Father of Israel. Shalom.